So we have a very interesting topic to discuss today. So welcome to today's panel discussion on promoting financial inclusivity amongst underbanked communities. What we are going to talk about today. So before we move on, I would like to hear from all of you about yourself, the kind of work that you do, the panelists. So one by one, if we can take about a minute's time and introduce yourselves to the audience.
Hi, myself Karthik. I am part of the credit audit SEB team.
Hi, Karthik. Yes, thank you. We'll go
Hi,
next.
I am Anand Agrawal. I am based out of Gurgaon. I am part of the wholesale banking large corporates team, and I'm with Yes Bank for last 1.5 years.
Hello, this is Priyanka Chaudhary, and I'm part of IS audit team in Yes Bank. And it's been more than 8 months that I'm here in Yes Bank.
अब इसकी प्लेस कर दूं मैं कहीं भी
Hi, this is Sanjana Santosh Bhai. I have joined Yes Bank in July 23 only, and I am working in the internal audit GBHO department.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Raisa Rebello, and I'm part of Yes Bank for the past 6 months. I'm part of the wholesale banking ELC team.
I am Roshan. I am part of wholesale credit audit team. I joined Yes Bank almost 1.5 year back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vineet Kapadnis. I've joined Yes Bank 6 months ago, and uh, over here I'm a part of credit audit team SC. Thank you.
So we have gathered today to discuss about a very critical topic, which I already mentioned. That's about fostering accessibility and empowerment within our financial systems for marginalized and underbanked communities. So when I say underbanked, it can be geographically underbanked, it could be community-based underbanking. So any kind of uh, area you feel has not been covered under mainstream banking will be covered under this topic. So this discussion will serve as an excellent opportunity to explore very, very innovative strategies because you all come from the similar background and with a lot of expertise. So some innovative ideas, suggestions that our audience uh, will find it useful to address the challenges and also identify actionable steps that can be taken. Something which is very, very practical, which can be implemented. Whoever listens to this can implement this maybe sometime in future. Those kind of steps we are going to discuss here today. So let's start off maybe we'll start with Karthik. So my first question is for Karthik. So what do you think uh, financial inclusion means in today's context compared to about 2 decades ago? So that time it was more about uh, making inroads into rural areas only. So what is it that you feel is the current appropriate definition of underbanking and inclusion?
Financial inclusion in today's context does not mean just only making roads into the rural sections of the country, but also uh, approaching the sections of the society in cities, basically the poor sections of the society which inhabit or which have moved from rural areas to the cities in search of livelihood. And even today, there are a large population of the city is struggling to make their ends meet. So, and this section of the population uh, is still unaware of how to approach banks or how to get their financial needs. You can say how to get their financial needs completed, and it's like still go to private lending, money lenders, and uh, pawns and all those things, and somewhere they end up getting into the debt trap. So to avoid that particular situation, so financial inclusion is a very important key aspect that is required, or that has to be made a part of their life.
Great. Thank you so much, Karthik. I think that was a very valid point. I'm going to take this forward to Vineet. So Karthik just said about people not approaching the mainstream banking and instead going to.
Hello.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is it that people are not aware how to approach mainstream and avail mainstream banking solutions, or is it because they are not eligible as per our banking guidelines to get credit? So what is your view, Vineet?
So my view towards it is, uh, see, basically financial inclusion, you can say it is access to credit. So for access to credit, there are many dimensions, like how, like where you can get the credit, how much you can get the credit, and how fast you can get it. Now, as Karthik said, there are many such communities or many such people in our society, those who are not able to go to that provider or a mainstream banking sector, uh, uh, because there are such limitations put down by the banks. Like if you have certain credit score, if you have certain CIBIL score, then only you will be able to get the credit. uh, but as Karthik had said that yes, this is mainstream banking, but at the same time there are some new age banking, small finance banks or fintechs which are coming up. Those are, and their underwriting process is such that they can they also give credit to people who are providing them some kacha pakka bills, or those who are not monthly income people, like those who are earning in daily or weekly wages. So there are some new age and small finance banks who provide credit to such people, and I think they are growing and they will be in mainstream banking sector as we go ahead.
Okay.
That's my
So,
view.
so you are saying that credit is available now with the new age solutions like fintechs. So people who are not eligible for mainstream credit from banks and all, they can approach fintechs to get credit. Is that the point you make?
Yes, I think yes.
Okay. So let me now go to Priyanka with this point. So what is your view? Are you in agreement with Vineet and Karthik? Because I feel when it comes to fintech, again the access to fintech solutions is again restricted to a very small population, and it is not really making inroads to people who actually require credit. And again, within fintech, I think there's a lot of regulation now coming in uh, because fintechs have been going around giving loans online on the app and so on. And also, there has been a lot of complaints on the way they're trying to recover loans, just like these money lenders, which Karthik spoke about. So that has not been in a great shape. So, what do you think, Priyanka? How is this going to shape up?
Thank you, Sid. So actually, what I have a point is, first of all, that India, as of now, in the current scenario, is the fastest growth in fintech area. Okay, which has an acceptance of at least 87% if we compare it with globally, which has 64 percentage of acceptance. Now coming to underbanked areas. Okay, approximately 190 million Indians are still underbanked, and could be the part of it, could be adults, could be tribals, could be remote areas, could be where there is language barriers, geographical regions. So all these could be the part of where underbanked is still existing. Now how we can cover this gap? Okay, we can have a collaboration with various NGOs, or we can have a CSR activities that we can come up with. We can engage with these kind of peoples or these kind of areas where there is underbanked communities are existing. There could be language uh, barriers, okay, where they are not able to understand the requirement, that how can they can go about proceeding and accepting these affordable financial products and the services. So affordable financial products can be one way of we can overcome with this problem. Then services, so providing such services that sustains their ways, so not individually also, but by businesses also. So inclusion of NGOs or inclusion of CSR activities, setting up campaigns, going door to door surveys, and with the help of certain government policies also, say like there are Grameen banks. Okay, and there are, so nowadays there is micro ATMs, there is mobile banking facility. So providing these people with certain criterias where they can and showcase their innovative products, where these people can be targeted, and microfinances can be included in these areas, where and with the policies that can they can come up with the policies where these underbanked areas can also be included, and they can have financial inclusions. So if we see the bigger picture of this, the financial inclusion not only will enhance their own individual requirements, but in a long term perspective, their business needs as well, they can enhance, and they can also enhance the overall growth of the economy as well. So I think with the collaboration of uh, government, NGOs, banks, and various other CSR group people, where we can promote them. We can have certain in the representation of movies or certain examples that we can set up in front of them, so that these people can have financial inclusion in their daily days. So that's what I think from my end.
Great. But since you mentioned about the NGO part, NGOs and institutions which are not actually regulated, don't you think that
Yeah,
becomes a very counterproductive solution for people, the kind of people we are talking about, who are easily gullible, not educated, but requiring credit, not having a credit score, not having proper documentation, and
yeah,
we trying to tell them that go to institutions that are not regulated by maybe the regulator, RBI or anybody else, and isn't
yeah.
it very, very risky for such people again?
So for that, there is, the education that comes into importance. That you need to try to educate them, and try to, say for example, there is nowadays Aadhaar enabled payment systems. There are digital wallets. There are Grameen bankings. So with these kind of improvisation in the banking area as well, where these are targeting more on these kind of areas, and services where for the poor communities. Okay, so these kind of things. Now if you see, even the digital currency is one of the product that can be used. So even India has, this they have launched digital rupee. Certain banks, even we as a Yes Bank, have also used the digital rupee within us. So these kind of promotions and these kind of products which are affordable for these poor communities, or wherever there is, so education and providing them information on easy to use these kind of products that are existing as of now, is one of the factor that I think can help these kind of communities.
Thank you. Excellent point. So going to Roshan. So Roshan, what is your view about the technology part that Priyanka spoke about? What do you think could be the barriers? Although in urban areas it seems to be very simple, even the auto wala knows how to use it. But do you think this is very easily implementable across the nooks and corners of the country? Roshan.
I believe that there are a number of unbanked communities which are still not part of the banking system, let alone the of forming part of the credit exposure of the banks. If we go to any rural area, suppose if we go to the construction laborers, casual laborers, they do not even form part of the banking system. They are not part of the financial inclusion, because if we see from their point of view, suppose there is a laborer who is working on daily wages, then for going, he might lose a day of salary or a half day of his salary, a half day of his wages, if he goes to the bank for the banking solutions. So I think that a lot of people are still out of the banking system, and the mainstream banks need to devise a solution, a special purpose unit, like just like RBI has mandated a priority sector lending. Similarly, in the banks, a special department can be formed, a special unit can be formed for providing banking solutions to the unbanked communities. Because today we see lot of examples where the unbanked communities are falling into the trap of loan apps, Chinese loan apps. We see in newspaper that there are very exorbitant rates. They are mentally harassed due to interest rates of around 1,000% even. Yesterday only I read an article where uh, person who required money for his sister's wedding. He was scrolling Instagram feed, and there he got a link of a fraudulent loan app. And from that loan app, he was given a credit of 15,000. And after that, when he was given a credit of 15,000, after 3 months, he was asked to pay 50,000 rupees in lieu of that. And when he was unable to pay it, he was tortured, he was mentally abused, and the guys were calling him repeatedly. So when it was contacted to the bank, then RBI view is also that they are not regulating these loan apps. It is out of the purview of even the RBI. So uh, given the illiteracy level and low education levels in our country, this sector should be highly regulated, and RBI should ask banks, mainstream banks, to set up the special units for providing these small loans on need to need basis. Like many times we see in public sector banks that uh, like festival advance is given to the employees. Similarly, banks can devise solutions like if the underbanked communities required loans for the marriage, loans for the small products, and that can be done on the basis of credit worthiness, definitely. But those things need to be explored at the bank's end. So that's my point.
Okay. So Roshan, good points about priority sector lending. But do you think from a private sector perspective, is it viable to have priority sector lending for private banks compared to PSUs?
Sir, we are already doing currently 40% of our lending has to be done to the priority sector. And in that also there are many sub-limits, and
Hmm.
7.5% has to go to the marginalized community. So within that
Okay.
cap of 7.5% marginalized communities, there can be solutions can be devised among that 7.5% so that those that type of credit reaches the bottom, reaches to the communities which require it most. So it
Hmm.
can be done at the bank level.
Okay. So you're saying it's already happening and it is a viable business proposition as well.
Yeah, sure.
Sid, would like to add to Roshan's point over here.
Sure.
Self-help group is one of the you can say
Yeah.
successful business models which has been used in banks for some time now. So basically, these self-help groups are more dependable, and it's like they ensure that the credit worthiness, or you can say the quality of the portfolio is also maintained, and the and it also ensures that the bank is making the required income from the portfolio.
And I would like to add one point. In SHGs, it is one of the there is one of the lowest default rate in this, and it is one of the most successful business model across the banking segment. So that can be replicated all throughout.
Fair point. Great. So let me move on to Sanjana. Sanjana, if I may ask you about uh, let's say the engagement and education. Priyanka made a point, Roshan made a point regarding how do we educate people and communities, because there's a problem of education, literacy, awareness about things, awareness about possible scams that may happen, like that Instagram free feed example that Roshan gave. So how do we educate people? Whose responsibility is it? Should the regulator be doing it? Should the banks be doing it? Should it be a joint effort? And how things should be worked out? What's your opinion?
According to me, spreading literacy about financial background is the responsibility of each and every one of us, because mainly financial inclusion focuses on making efforts to providing banking facilities and services available to all kinds of people, irrespective of their income, irrespective of their size of business, etc. So as we see, there are multiple advertisement campaigns are also conducted by our government of India. We also get an advertisement of like, do not share your pin, do not share your OTP. So our government is also making efforts. like now the advertisement is also coming. Amitabh Bachchan is advertising about it. So using famous personalities for giving a social message so that people can, act on it. So these are the special initiatives conducted by our government. Our government is also coming up with the various facilities such as Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, where people can go and open saving accounts. People can there are certain other facilities also providing, such as buy now pay later. Like we, if we go and buy, like we get products at no cost EMIs. So these are some of the examples where uh, it is very helpful for the people to get involved in the financial services. The main three pillars of the financial inclusion are technology, women empowerment, and the regulation. As we know that, as per the government survey, as compared to men, only 33% women are having banking accounts. So it is very important for the government and for as a developing nation to educate more women so that they can open account, they can start saving. Therefore, banks are also coming up with various measures, such as providing various services to the women account, charging less on women account, etc. These are certain measures which are conducted by them. Also, by providing credit scores, means like as Vinit said, it was very difficult for small business group to get loans from the banks earlier because they were not having any credit scores. So by financial inclusions, people can get credit scores even by doing small payments, such as by paying electricity bills, by paying a regular day to day payments, so they can get a credit score. So since they are making credit score, it is very helpful for them to get finance for their businesses. And this way we are promoting small businesses as well.
Great. So I think that's a good point that you made about trying to build a credit score gradually for people who do not have a score. So let me move to Reza. Do you agree with what Sanjana said and anything that you want to add, especially about the BNPL point that she mentioned, which I somehow felt BNPL is pushing people to get into debts which are not required. These are all unhealthy credits of buying stuff which you don't require at because it's available very easily online. So Reza, would you like to add on something to what Sanjana said now?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Sanjana said. It is everyone's responsibility, to educate and spread financial awareness. But I would like to point out that at least 70% of the population in India has a mobile phone. So right now there is, an increase in influencers, and there are financial influencers, and most of the people, consume the YouTube and in Insta Reels, which is very popular these days. But I think the banks and even the regulator can, team up with some of them who are actually qualified, because now everyone is giving their opinion. And like you said, that when people try, fall into the debt trap, it is because of influence. Because we are right now living in that moment where we feel like, what do you call it, YOLO, you live only once. So, our influence is mostly dependent because we watch and consume such content. So maybe if we have some certain channels, like everyone right now is on Instagram, on Facebook, or or YouTube. Everyone, even in our villages, like I don't know with the interiors, but when we go to our hometown and all, everyone is consuming some content. So maybe RBI or even the banks can reach out to these people with authentic content. So you spread the right message, and we can see, replicate something like that. And what regarding below poverty line people, see, India is geographically, it's very a large country. So to reach the internet, and the connectivity also is required, to reach in the far-fetched interiors of this. So that is one of the major issues which we may face when we come to go digital. But I would say, uh, so you started this with how financial inclusion is different now than 20 years back. Like, you just take 10 years, prior, no one would imagine paying your rickshaw fare or paying your vegetable vendor with a UPI. Because of the pandemic, we have moved, because of that push, we had to move digitally. So what happened was we got this push, and you see the UPI. These were the four main successes: the UPI, the Bharat QR code, and the BBPS system, which came into picture, and the RuPay. So all this helped to move from brick and mortar to going digital. So maybe we need a little bit of push, and with the right channels and strategies, we can achieve whatever we are looking to achieve when it comes to financial inclusion.
Okay. Any suggestions of innovative products that can help the community?
Uh, Subsidy, we have already, I mean, if you go to see, there are many subsidized things. The government is coming up time and again, when it comes to BSBDA accounts, or the Mudra loans, and the everything, the other things. So I think awareness and education is more important before you push a product. So if you don't know what to use and what is required, everything has to be tailor made for every individual. So you cannot push something to someone which that person doesn't require. So when it comes, I personally feel, instead of products, we offer them a bouquet, and then you choose whatever is applicable to you. Right now, I personally feel that the government has done more than enough when it comes to the scheme. But maybe they're targeting a specific segment when it comes to these. But when you're aware what you need, one size doesn't fit everyone. So personally, I don't think we can offer, say, a particular product to, say, to Sanjana or to me or to Karthik. It has to suit your needs. So there is a bouquet of products, and you can pick from that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for those points. Anybody would like to add anything here?
Yes, would agree to Raiza's point over here that just offering a bouquet of product will not help to strengthen the financial inclusion. The products have to be tailor made, or the loans or the facilities have to be tailor made according to the requirement of the individual. For example, if a person who is unemployed and he wants to venture into some small time activities, like a by like become a vegetable seller or a stall owner or something, then we can go ahead as a banker. We can go ahead and offer him the required product, or rather the required amount of loan, the required amount of loan. So we should ensure that the funds that are being disbursed to, or are being facilitated to these people, are used towards the right purpose, rather than offering them uh, uh, a variety of products, and then the person who is availing, he himself does not know that what he has to do with it.
Agreed, Karthik.
I would
Right.
like to add something to Karthik's point. So
Sure.
there is real life example about it. Like there are many such dairy farmers in Gujarat who don't have such access to credit, or they have such challenges to have access of credit. So there are many banks who have done this. Is they have gone to these dairy farmers, and with the help of technology, they have found out like how much pouring they are doing with Amul. So Amul is the big corporate of for dairy in Gujarat. So they are calculating it with the help of API, like how much daily pouring they are doing with Amul, and from the doing from it they are deciding their credit limit, so how much credit limit they can avail. And at the spot, in 1 day only, they can avail that credit without having any, go to somewhere, or go physically to a bank. So it is available, and it is growing. And I there is one more initiative there by RBI, which is RBI Innovation Hub. So this RBI Innovation Hub, with the help of state governments, are going towards such communities by themselves with the help of banks and doing such activities such as digital Kisan credit and uh, as and it will grow as much we go forward, and it will be a thing to look for.
Right.
Sid would like to add to Vinith's point over here. Similar model of corporate agribusiness is being followed by many banks, wherein the you can say the farmers are being made a part of the value chain, and they are provided credit facilities on behalf of the or on the guarantee of the corporates, so that their operating cycle can be smooth enough and they can continue with their business on a better in a better manner.
Sure. Karthik, I liked your point that you made earlier about when we are targeting the bottom of the pyramid, we can't have too many products to offer, and finally, people taking credit and maybe not using it for the right purpose that they should be doing. In fact, that also brings the BNPL point again. So, if there is easy credit and people start availing it at the bottom of the pyramid, especially when the repayment capability is not there, so it can lead to a debt trap. So I like this model of P2P lending, which I think Rangde is doing. So on those lines, do you think any such product will help so that people can, at the bottom of the pyramid especially, can use credit for the betterment of their profession so that they can start doing well in their profession that they have chosen? So instead of just giving them credit to buy consumer durable items, which are all depreciating items anyway. So
Yes, basically.
anyone. Yeah, go
So,
on.
so basically, the credit that is provided to the people at the bottom of the pyramid, either it should help in creating an asset for the nation in terms of an enterprise, or you can say a small business, or in the form of some creation of some income source to the people over there, or it should be like it should create an asset in the economy, rather than the that fund getting used for some uh, consumption purposes. Basically, the idea over here is that the people who are at the bottom of the um, pyramid, they are more driven by emotions, and you can say um, they lack the financial knowledge basically. So what happens if you give them excess funds uh, over and above their needs, or funds which are not you can say funds which are in excess to their needs, it may happen that they may tend to misuse those funds, and then they might ultimately get into that paying off unwanted interest and spending of their income in unwanted manner.
Great. Roshan, what are your views on this topic, especially when we are talking about bottom of the pyramid or marginalized communities, where we should be actively discouraging people from using such credit uh, for buying consumer durable items which are depreciating assets?
First of all, I would like to add to Ravi's point that we have similar schemes in place as well. We can take inspiration from the government scheme like Pradhan Mantri Street Vendor Scheme. In that scheme, government provides small loans to the street vendors for buying on their for buying the items which they sell on a day-to-day basis. Similarly, the government has also launched a PM Viskarma scheme. So that is about that is for the artisans, small artisans, carpenters. So they can buy their stuff from that a small facility and then can pay to the government while carrying out the work. So similar type of, I believe that similar type of schemes can be devised that can suit the similar type that can suit those communities at the bottom of the pyramid. Just like Raja was talking about the digital payment solutions. So I would like to add here that with these digital payments getting credited into the account, banks can devise a strategy that if we refer to small business loans are given by banks on the basis of credits received in the account, and on that basis, eligibility for the businesses are calculated. So similarly, banks can take cue for the, for example, vegetable vendors or auto rickshaw drivers or anyone who is getting credit, who is receiving payments into the bank account. So suppose eligibility can be calculated on the basis of monthly payments received in the account. So I believe that there are these things can be implemented, and these type of solutions can be uh, devised for those communities.
So you're saying basically release credit in tranches and link it to the credits, I mean the amount that they are getting in their bank account. So link it to the
Yes,
income generated.
yeah, surely. And with this, we can help them that they are not getting into the trap of the those loan apps or the money lenders. So if we give them solutions from the banking channels or the proper channels, and if they are getting credit from there, then they would be definitely they would avoid taking loans from those fraudulent loan apps at the exorbitant rates.
Right. Great point. Reza, coming to you, since we have spoken about so many initiatives that can be taken up, so many ideas all of you gave, how do we at the end measure the impact of these initiatives, policies? So, what's happening on the ground actually? Is there a way to really get some data points there?
Um, Actually, this year only RBI has come up with Antardrishti. It is like a dashboard which measures financial inclusion real time. So they have already implemented it, but it is not available for everyone. It is only available for the internal functioning at RBI to measure means how on real time basis where they are reaching financial inclusion. uh, when it comes to banks, we already have data of so many customers, and what we can do is reach if we are not able to reach, like you asked us about whether it is viable for private banks,
Hmm.
because private banks, when it comes to nationalized banks, they have branches in the interiors also, but private banks are mostly cater to a different segment of customers. So if we cannot reach them physically, maybe we can reach them digitally. Like Roshan already said, that through our mobile, through our payment apps and all, we can reach them like that, and then we can monitor those through uh, uh, through the debits and credits to the activity that they use. We can monitor that whether it is reaching to the end user or the to the customers that we want to target.
Right. And also, what do you think about the impact eventually if you're extending credit to marginalized communities? Obviously, the aspiration is that they will invest in a profession and derive benefit from it. So, would there be any solution that measures overall outcome over a period of, let's say, 12 months to 24 months to 36 months on how these people are faring?
um, See, when it comes to bank and bank credit, when anyone gives the credit, we expect to see results. So definitely we also monitor you monitor how they are faring over a period of time, because what you're expecting is the money that will come back returned to you. So banks do keep track of how the person is going to repay the money, which is more important, and whether the recoverability of the loan is also there, and based on that only the bank is further giving them credit. So that is
Correct. So, that data point becomes useful for you to extend further credit if required.
yes.
Great. Priyanka, would you like to add something there if you're fine?
Yeah, today I have a bad throat actually.
Okay.
So yeah. So actually, yes, there are many yojanas, which are already existing by the government, and say like so we know that mobile is now a tool which is available at all the age, especially young age if we target. So there is a yojana like training of rural youth for self employment, which we call it as TRISEM. This is so these are certain initiative which we target in educating the and training the rural youth. So and women empowering. So these kind of so women being the most important part in any family. So educating these people, empowering women, helping youth in getting trained, then certain schemes on like where you can so small promoting small businesses to come up. And so these kind of facilities which are already there, we just need to these kind of products are already available with the people. We need to educate them, we need to make them aware of these products, how efficiently they can use these products, and because these may result in promoting economic growth, their businesses. They'll do more transactions, they'll have more education also. So is and women empowerment skills being enhanced, and overall improvement of the society, okay, development of the society, as well as for the country as well. So it all these things will definitely lead, and constant monitoring is also required. So I believe if these kind of initiatives are there, it's just that we need to make them aware of the appropriate usage of these products and how easily they can use these products. That is more important. Definitely we'll see the positive results if these small things are being taken care.
Super. So I think financial education and literacy is very, very critical when we are talking about this kind of audience at the bottom of the pyramid and marginalized communities. Great. So one last question for all of you. I know I'm mindful of time. So we'll start with Sanjana and then go around and check your opinions on this. What about the trust and cultural barriers? There are communities which believe or don't believe in accessing credit and so on. So different people have different perceptions about credit and banking, mainstream banking. So, Sanjana, what's your view about this topic?
As a Indian culture, people don't want to take loans because they feel it is a burden on them. But as our government is focusing on spreading financial literacy and making various methods available for the people to access credit from the financial institutions, it is very helpful for the small businesses as well as startups to get funds for their businesses, and hence it is promoting in economic growth. As we can see, even a small vendor is using UPI. So earlier people were reluctant to open a bank account, but since the ease of UPI, people are now focusing more and more towards opening bank account and conducting their day-to-day transactions through banking channels. So this way, the money which is getting transferred through this UPI channels, the transaction of money is getting increased day by day, and hence again it is leading to the economic development. And therefore, since the culture which we belong, people are now coming out of that barrier and moving ahead and getting their businesses online, and now focusing on their business growth by using this financial inclusions.
Right. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to add on?
Sid, as far as you can say the mental barriers of certain communities with respect to loans or credit facilities with the banks is concerned, would again like to reiterate a point that if people are made aware of credit facilities to be looked upon as a wealth creation or an income generation source rather than a means to you can say consumption, till they are used as a means to generate income or create wealth. um, there is no harm in taking credit or taking loans from financial institutions. So again, financial literacy is one of the key aspects that needs to be driven down. So once this is done, I suppose the mental barriers can be easily overcome.
Right. Anyone else?
I would like to add one point here. that in many parts of the country, many backward areas of the country, it is also a kind of social stigma that approaching a bank is a social stigma, that what people will think about the family, that its financial condition is not good. They are going to the bank, and it becomes a public affair. It would become a public affair that everyone would be knowing that we are approaching the bank due to not so good financial conditions, because bank officials will be coming bank office for the verification. So it is also a kind of social barrier. So I believe that it can also be tackled through awareness campaigns, and through the village panchayats or through sarpanches. So involving them can also help in tackling this issue.
I think especially when it comes to gold loan, there is more of
Yeah,
stigma attached.
yeah, similarly. Sure.
Yeah, in adding to what Roshan said, to overcome this social stigma, that how can we go to the bank and open the account? Like there are various other kind of people available there. So banks have come up with the mobile banking solutions where people can go online, open their account, perform certain transactions. They can also originate loans. They can also buy insurance and certain other various services which they can get from the mobile banking solutions. So we have already started working on this facility, and even though people, even if they are from very remote area, they can also initiate banking with this technology.
Right. Interesting. Vineet, Priyanka, or anyone, Reza, any more points to add?
Wherever there is language barrier, or wherever there is, tribal people, or such people where it becomes really difficult to make them understand about these products. Okay, so I believe we can collaborate from the people, from at least one or two people who are really interested amongst them. We can pick them and we can collaborate with them and make understand. See, people are very religious and to certain things. So keeping in mind their religion and other factors, we can make them educate through these collaborations, small collaborations with people from their community, people from their own area, so that those factors can also be avoided, where they are not able to understand. Sorry, where they're not able to understand our products. So in collaboration with them, I think people will definitely understand our right now the technology that we are having available.
I would like just to add, um, I would agree with Karthik. It all boils down to financial literacy and understanding. Like if you compare, like Sanjana said, you need celebrities, advertising, and all. It does help. Like when the mutual fund campaign came up, mutual fund sahi hai. Like if you see the inflows, if you ask someone SIP now, what is a SIP, everyone knows. But say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no one knew that, how mutual funds work. So for anything to work, it all comes down to whether they know about it or don't know. So these campaigns, when celebrities endorse some things, or they come up with a social campaign for each product, like mutual funds, insurance. When it comes to insurance, people don't understand why you need insurance, because you're not getting anything back. So if you see where they just come up with kya milega return mein, that is the one question everyone, when you try to sell, not only in rural areas but even in tier 2 cities, or if you go down to the suburbs and all, that is what is asked. So maybe if you make them aware how the products work and how it will benefit you, then it a barrier is because of lack of knowledge, and because of lack of understanding what basically it will do and how it will help you. So what I would like to say is, if we have celebrities or we have some campaigns which explain basically what these products and how these financial products are going to help the people, then we will have that increase, like how we have seen the inflows in the mutual fund industry, what Zerodha did to equity. Like everyone has an app. Basically, it picked up from 2020 21 only. Before that, no one was using it. So, like I said, you just need a push, for any of these things to work.
Vineet,
Great.
would you like to?
While talking about products, you touched upon a very interesting product, which is P2P lending. I would like to shed some light on that thing. I think P2P lending, there are many new age companies such as Lending Club, 12% Club, then there is Credence. These companies are giving, just if you have some basic credit card or basic credit score, on that basis they are doing underwriting, which regulations doesn't allow banks to do that basic underwriting thing. And and if I have some money in my pocket and I want to gain something from it, then I would go to that platform and just give loan to these needy people, and these loans are pocketed into different people so that even the risk is averted from if there is any default. So I think it is very interesting product, and we'll have to look forward on how it goes and how it performs in a large population. As of now, their customer base is really small, and it is hard to speculate anything from it. So yes, just a input to your point.
Sure. Thank you so much. Gave me some new names. I was aware of only Rangde, and I think long back Milap used to do a bit of P2P. Great. So since we are running short of time, let me summarize what we have discussed today. Very, very interesting points. I was making notes of all those points. One, I liked the financial literacy thing and the need to create awareness, especially using, we still require Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan to come and create awareness and tell us about SIPs. So when they come on the screen, we believe them. And we have so many now influencers as well on YouTube coming and telling us where to put our hard-earned money. Some of them give sound advice, some of them don't, unfortunately. Uh, I like the point about laborers having to lose half a day. I think Roshan made this point, having to lose half a day of wages for going to the bank. So bank has to go to the doorstep either through digital platforms or any other means so that they're able to save that half day salary and yet uh, avail banking products and solutions. Fintech and BNPL offers loads and loads of new products easily available online at the click of a button. But as we all agreed, the money has to be used for right purposes, not to buy the next version of the iPhone when you can't really afford it and blow up money there. So rather, it should be an income generating, used for income generation. And also, I think someone made the point about creating enterprises which can benefit the nation. So wherever money can be invested for such purposes, which helps the individual as well as the nation, is the right way to invest money. We also spoke about priority sector lending, and it's, I think, it being a good value proposition for business proposition for even the private sector banks, not just the public sector. It's a common misconception that only PSUs do it and private banks don't do it. Okay, so those who don't have credit scores, they can start building credit scores by paying small bills and doing some activity so that they are able to build a score and go to a bank. There seem to be a lot of cultural barriers in availing loans because people think availing loans, matlab, he cannot really, he's in a problem, his family is in a problem, and that is why they hesitate to avail loans from the banks and they prefer going to somebody in the community and sorting it out. So I think those are the points that I had jotted down. In case I've missed something, happy to uh, talk about it again. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your time. I think I learned a lot from this discussion today, from all your inputs, from core bankers, experts in the field. Thank you so much.